Okay guys, this is how you create a field log. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you are hotspotted to the internet by either using your phone, your work phone, your personal phone, or your home internet. Once you know that you're connected, you're going to come here and go open VPN. It will look like this. You're going to simply tap that and you're going to wait a minute. It gives you that little song. Not all tablets are set up with the song, but a lot are. Sometimes it takes a while for it to connect. You cannot proceed to B2W to enter a field log until you are connected successfully to the VPN. This is what it looks like when you know you're connected. Once you are, you're going to come here and go to B2W. You'll see that it brings me to the sign on page or to the sign in. Right up here in this corner is where you select to sign in, and if you need to change, if somebody's used your tablet before, you come here to all of your users and you can select your sign in from this list. That's me. So I'm going to sign in here, enter my PIN, and then hit sign in. Now, one of the most important things, and I'm really going to strongly suggest you do this, is you sync it before you create a new field log. So I'm going to hit sync and sync now, and sometimes it takes a minute for it to catch, like that time. You're going to hit it again, and you're going to hit it again until it syncs. Okay, it looks like it caught that time. The reason I'm doing that is because we get system updates that happen overnight. A lot of times change order information might be entered, materials might be entered, hours, all kinds of things can change, schedules can change, a lot of different reasons to do this, but you want to have the most updated version of B2W. So I always sync it before. Once you've done that, you're going to come here to new field log. You're going to create, now there's two options that I don't know if everybody knows. You can copy the last field log. If you've been working at the same job for a week or so at a time, you can copy the last field log, and what that will do is it will copy your job that you're working on, the employees that are working there, your start and end times, and your production. Now, it will prompt you to make the changes necessary, like the date and if the start and stop time have changed, if your equipment have changed, and if your production item has changed. But that can save a lot of time for people like operators who are either typically opening trench or backfilling, shading as their main task. But for today, we're going to select blank field log, and it brings us to this page. So we're going to come right here, the work start. We're going to do it for today. We're going to say that we started at 7 a.m. I'm the foreman for this job. If I wanted to pick a different foreman, if you have signed in under your own user ID, it will automatically put you here. If not, if you signed under crew or something, you can go through and select who you want it to be. My supervisor on the job, it's the supervisor that you're working directly under, and you're going to select that person. Now, you can see that we started at 7, we're ending at 5, our work hours are 10. If you need to write notes and say there's an employee that started and he's not yet been added in B2W, or any information on the job you might need to add so that we get that information, or your supervisor sees it, you can click on the pencil icon and leave notes here. There's several places you can leave notes. This is just one of them. The next thing you're going to do, you'll see if we go down the side, there's several icons over here. I'm going to show you the ones that you need to do. You're going to skip these ones here. The first one you're going to use is the cone, okay? This is going to lead you to the jobs. You're going to click add, and this is going to bring you a list of all of the jobs that are available, okay? These are all of the jobs that are active right now in B2W. And like I said, there may be a reason you sync it so that it updates this. So you may be starting a new job. You'll need to update B2W to make sure that it's in here, okay? So go through the list, find the job that you're working on. I'm going to pick, let's see, what should I pick? I think it's the very first one that I want to work on. I'm going to pick Contreras Farms just because, okay? And if I was working on more than one job, I would select each job, okay? You can select as many jobs as you work on. If you're an installer or a final crew and you're working on multiple jobs, you can select multiple job sites. But for this one, we're gonna do just one job site and we're gonna hit add. So here we have Contreras Farms. Now if we come here and tap this, it will give us just a little information. It's gonna tell us the job number and not a whole lot you need to worry about here. The next thing you're gonna do is come here. Now this is production. This is where you're gonna add and tell us what you did on that job. So when you hit add, it's gonna list all of the options that you have for this specific job. So I'm gonna say that I opened some trench, I installed a single phase transformer, I installed some conduit, and I did a bypass. So if you'll see, it just adds up the check marks. You can pick as many items as you want, as many tasks as you did. Don't leave anything out. Make sure you're accounting for everything that you did. So read through this list very carefully. If it's not on this list, then make sure you let your supervisor know. And this would be a good time to leave the notes for your supervisor to see. Once I've selected all of the production items, I'm going to click add. And it's adding it to the field log. So right now it's going to say, okay, right here, it pulls up the first production item that I picked. It says open trench. Now, this is the quantity that I did, okay? So I'm gonna say I did 50 feet, right here, 50 feet of trenching, okay? Now, you're gonna come down here. You don't need to worry about anything right here. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna hit this again, and then it's gonna take you to install conduit. Click on the next one. We're gonna say the same thing. We did 50 feet of conduit, and we're gonna set that, okay? Click on this bullseye again, hit bypass. We are gonna say we trenched out 3 bypasses and set, and then click on the icon again and install single phase transformers. We were after it with transformers, so we're gonna say we did 8 of those, okay? And we're gonna set them. So we've entered all of our production rates and all of the amounts that we did, okay? Now, if I had more than one job, it'd be really important that you look up here and say which production item you're putting to each job, okay? So watch that very carefully. If you use multiple jobs, make sure the job is matching the production you did for that job. So once you've entered everything there, you're gonna click the next one. This is time and materials. Now, sometimes you will use this for a change order, okay? This isn't one that you're gonna use often, but it comes up on occasion. This one right here is an overhead account. This one is really, really important to select. You're gonna click add. Right here, it's gonna say a half-hour lunch for each crew member, okay? This is super important that you click on that overhead account and you're gonna click add. It's gonna say you need to select, okay, click it and add it. Now it's adding that to the field log, okay? Now right here, you're gonna see that it's saying it's not listing any amounts right now, okay? So this will be important in just a minute. Once we add the employees, this is where it becomes really important. Now, the next step is going to be adding the employees, and this is the part that you need to pay really, really close attention to. So you're gonna click on this. You're going to add the employees that worked for you on your job. Now, this is the list of everybody who can work. I'm gonna pick, for my sake, I'm gonna pick Anna, and I'm gonna pick Axel, and I'm gonna pick, let's see, Dalen, okay? So those 3 people I've added to this field log. Now, if I'm the foreman, I wanna make sure I add myself. You've gotta add everybody that's worked on that job, including yourself, okay? So the type is the type of labor that they are. You don't need to worry about that. The first thing you see in this is the lunch box. You're gonna click it. You're gonna say, yes, we took a lunch. Open trench. Now this is where people can get confused. This is the amount of time spent on each task. So we know that we have 10 hours on our field log. So I'm gonna say I spent 3 hours opening the trench. I spent 3 hours, whoops, not 300, see, 3 hours, whoops, not 33. Okay, we spent 3 hours, and it gave me a prompt. So it's pretty easy to fix stuff when you make a mistake. You're just gonna delete it out. 3 hours, set. We're gonna set 3 hours here, and then we were super fast with these transformers. We spent 1 hour installing 8 single phase transformers, and we're going to set that. So if you will see, our work hours equal 10 right here. You're going to come right here, and you're going to see that the overhead account is right here. This is the lunch, and it's automatic. There are times when that is not automatically checked. If it is not, you need to manually add it, okay? If it's checked, great. If it comes up and this box is full, that's awesome. If it's not, then you'll have to check that box, okay? Then you're going to come down here to the bottom, and this is super important. You're going to sign your time card. Here you'll see is another space for notes. If you want to add anything on any of these things, you can add notes on these parts. Right here is a really good place to add your notes. Okay, so you're going to hit sign time card, and each individual employee needs to sign their own time card. Okay, so this is Anna, and what she sees is, do the hours I'm seeing here reflect my hours worked today? You'll see that we had 10 hours listed on the field log, 9.5 hours are posted because we selected the half hour for her lunch. So we're gonna say yes. We're gonna enter, see there's another place for notes. You're gonna hit tap to sign. Once you hit tap to sign, you're gonna come up here and we'll sign. Now you're gonna hit done and then save. Once you hit done and save, it's gonna create a PDF. So it's submitting that signature to the field log. Now what this does, to the field log, sorry. What this does is it creates a time card. Okay, so right here I see that Anna Rubio has signed. We're gonna go check on Axel. We're gonna look at him. He took a lunch too. We're gonna open this. Now we have to do him. So we know that he spent the same time. And yes, it's tedious, but it's important that you do this for every single employee, that you enter the hours worked for each task and that it matches what they will say they did. Now, maybe Axel spent 8 hours on the single phase transformers and his time is different. You don't have to have every person on the field log work on every production account. So if you have 2 people installing conduit, 1 person opening trench, and the other people on your field log doing single phase transformers, you're only going to put the amount of time they have spent on each production task. But for right now, I'm just going to put everybody the same. So we're going to set this. His hours are correct. We know that that's going to equal to 10. We selected yes for his lunch. We came down here. You can see that his lunch was taken out here. We're going to sign his time card. If I need to add any notes, I can. Do the hours I am seeing here reflect my hours worked today? I'm going to select yes. More opportunities for notes, time and sign. We're going to have Axel come and sign this. We're going to click done and save, and you'll see it's going to create a PDF for him. Now, right here, you're going to alert. Your changes are pending a sync. Now, you can sync right now. Don't. Just say, okay, it's reminding you that this information will not be submitted to me or to B2W until it's been synced. So we're gonna go to Dalen. We're gonna enter his numbers. We're gonna say that he spent 5 hours operating or trenching, and then he didn't do any conduit, okay? So he didn't do any conduit. He spent 2 hours here doing a bypass, and he spent 3 hours doing a single phase transformer. So you'll see that his hours are different, but they still equal the same amount. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whatever hours they do, you want to make sure that the hours listed here are the hours that you listed as your start and stop times at the first of the field log. You're going to come down here. You're going to double check that the lunch was taken out. It was. You're going to sign the time card. We're going to say, come here. I've got your time card ready for you to sign, Dalen. We're going to click yes. These are the hours that he worked, and those match what he says that he's done. You're going to come right here to sign. We're going to say, this is Dalen. Dalen, thank you for signing your own field log, because a foreman would never sign a field log or a time card for their employee, would they? No, they would not. So you are going to have each employee sign. Now, everything we see is done. Looks good. 1, 2, 3, all employees are signed, and it's signed off. So this is for your equipment. You're going to add the equipment. Any equipment, crew trucks, excavators, minis, backhoes, whatever you use. whatever you use, you're gonna select them right here. And then we're gonna say that we used this excavator, okay? And it's gonna put it up, it's just gonna do it. Now I can add the amount, the hours, the meter reading right here. We really would like you to do that. If you would like to tell us whose crew truck it is, whatever you can, but this will help us with the PMs and keep us on alert for when equipment needs to be repaired or have preventative maintenance done. When we're done entering all of that information, we're gonna come here. We're gonna review the field log. So we're at Contreras Farms. We worked at this day, at this time, start, stop. There's my super. This was the job. These were all of the things that we did. This is the reported quantity. This is what we've entered on the field log. That looks good. Overhead is done. Lunch for 3 people equals an hour and 50, hour and a half. These are what Anna did, 950. This is what Axel did, 950. This is what Dalen did, 950. This is the equipment. So everything on this field log looks good. So I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna click menu, and I'm gonna hit validate and save. Now what it's doing is it's going and it's syncing the time, the field log to B2W. And this can take a little bit of time. Again, you have to be synced or connected to the VPN before you can do this, but it's uploading this field log. It's sending it in with all of the information that we just did. So you can see that it automatically went to syncing, which is where we started. If it doesn't automatically go there, you're gonna wanna go back up to the top once it said submitted, and you're gonna sync that again, okay? Now, this is what you want. This field log has been successfully sent to the server. If you don't see that prompt, then you have an issue, and you can call your supervisor and ask them to help. You hit okay. If you come up here and see last sync was less than a minute ago, we know that this field log was synced successfully. If you come over here and look at field logs, you'll see that right here is my field log. This is the one that we just created. You want to make sure that it's on this list, okay? Once it's on that list, you're done, okay? That's the basic instructions on how to create a field log, okay? If you have any questions or struggle with it, please reach out to your supervisor. They can help walk you through it. If you're having additional problems, please feel free to call me. I'm Jessica. I am the office and scheduling manager. You can reach out to me. My cell is 602-708-7280, and I would be happy to walk you through it. Okay, hope this helps. Thanks, y'all.